Am I the asshole for telling my sister I won't be in her second makeup wedding? My 25 female sister, 30 female, got married 6 years ago. The wedding did not go quite as planned, so she and her husband have decided they want a redo and are planning to have their wedding late next year. I was her bridesmaid, kinda maid of honor, with one of her friends, and she treated me like shit. I was younger then and didn't really say much because the rest of my family would have told me to deal with it for her day, and be the grown-up like I was supposed to be. The only time I really called my sister out was when she raged at me for not paying off the dress the same day as the others. I had told her before that my payments would be a little late with me being a struggling college student and all that, but instead of either changing her mind about me being her bridesmaid or offering to pay and I could pay her back, she spoke to me like a disobedient child in front of her friends and the ladies at the store. I was significant other stressed out because of her, and then at her wedding one of our cousins had a medical emergency followed by our brother's girlfriend going into labor. I bore the brunt of her anger that day, and afterward she got pissy with our brother's girlfriend for taking the spotlight from her, and now they don't talk and she doesn't know our nephew. So when she asked me again, I told her no. She wanted a reason. I told her to reflect on how she treated me at her last wedding and left it there. Now our parents, paternal grandma and paternal aunts and great-aunts are all rallying to get me to say yes, and to apologize for saying no. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. She was a bridezilla the first time around and has had 6 years to plan how to be even more demanding the second time around. Not the asshole. You are a person with free will. If you feel you were treated badly and don't want to be put in a position where it could happen again, well, you have every right to do as you please and shouldn't feel any guilt for that choice. And is buying your own dress a thing? At my marriage we bought all the clothes, bridesmaids, best man, page boy, all out of our funds. She's still holding a grudge because your nephew was born on wedding day? Damn. So I'm guessing she hasn't done any maturing during the last 6 years. I would not want a repeat of that experience. Basically, you've got a year before the wedding. By when do you have to let them know if you're changing your mind? Book a vacation that you just forgot to tell them about it. Lol. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It's not on you to make her day perfect, and since it's already a do-over, she'll be even worse if this one doesn't go exactly to her every plan. It's very indulgent to have a second wedding when already married, especially next year when everywhere will be packed with weddings that got cancelled during Corona. Everything will be hard work, from shopping to venues to food. You already did it once and you shouldn't have to take on the emotional labor of a second round for no reason. Stick to your guns. Tell her you come as a guest or not at all. Continue to tell your family when they ask that she was emotionally abusive to you last time and you're not willing to repeat the experience. Not the asshole. Anyone who needs a makeup wedding after 6 years because someone went into labor has bigger problems. Why would you spend that much money to put on a big show and not actually get married? Go on a vacation together or something. Hey, you do you, but it strikes me as extremely narcissistic. Then to expect everyone to go along with it as if it were as important as your actual wedding? Such a weird thing to hold onto for so long. Not the asshole. She's holding a grudge against a woman and her child, because she went into labor. That says everything we need to know about her. Hope people respond in situations like that. Tells you a lot about who they are. She doesn't recognize her poor behavior, and never apologize for how she treated you, which means she feels entitled to treat you that way. Stick with no, ignore any messages regarding this, and end conversations with anyone who won't let it go. Tell them you will not apologize, as you have every right to say no. Tell them to move on, or you'll have to consider whether you attend at all, and you won't stand being badgered over this. Not the asshole. I am surprised her marriage has lasted 6 years. Was her husband blinking significant others the last time you saw him? But seriously, tell her and your family the reason. Don't be vague. Not the asshole. Don't put yourself through that again. And you don't have anything to bloody apologize for. Did your family not see this behavior from her? Or is she the golden child that can do no wrong? Not the asshole, but I would say that it's better to state the reasons why you felt uncomfortable last time rather than hoping she'll figure it out on her own. She probably won't self-reflect in the way you hope. She could lash out and say that you're being vague or petty, and that's not what you want. Good luck. Not the asshole. My whole family treated me like trash during the year before my sister's wedding, and every time I had a panic attack they comforted me by telling me she'd do the same for my wedding. What should actually have happened is not being treated like shit in the first place. You should be able to choose how you'd like to be treated as an adult, so it's only fair for you to stand up for yourself. Don't give in. Not the asshole. It takes a special kind of person to not be happy with all of the attention they got on their first wedding day. Because that's all this second wedding is. I didn't get enough attention the first time round. She sounds like a nightmare, to be perfectly honest. I wouldn't bother either. 6 years has no real significance. Renewing vows at 10, 15 or 20 years? Sure. But 6 years? Give me a break. Not the asshole. Fake something unavoidable if absolutely necessary. Your sister sounds exhausting. Your choice. It is a make-up wedding anyway, so there is nothing to gain from this other than to appease a spoiled person. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. No. Hell no. No with a cherry on top. You don't deserve to be treated like shit, especially by a bridezilla that is demanding a second wedding for her own selfish reasons. I would distance myself from that whole train wreck if I were you. Your sister is only going to get worse before she gets better. She clearly has issues. Not the asshole. This sounds like a gift grab. Or someone who enjoys the wedding more than the marriage. I don't think I'd even attend at all, let alone be a bridesmaid again. Not the asshole. Yeah, weddings are a huge deal, emotions are running high and there's a lot of stress. But that doesn't give the bride or groom the right to mistreat, rage at people. Not the asshole, especially because it seems like 6 years later she only wants a do-over because of the examples you gave, like sister-in-law having the gall to go into labor and ruining her spotlight. Anyone that's self-centered is bound to be even worse the second time around. Here's hoping there's a proposal or pregnancy announcement during this one. You don't happen to have a boyfriend, do you? Tee-hee. Tell her you will be in her second wedding, as it would be a great way to let the family know you're getting engaged or coming out bisexual or something of the sort. She definitely will change her mind. Thumbs up. Medium dark skin tone. Not the asshole. I would completely want to avoid being her emotional stress ball. No one wants to bear the brunt of bridezilla. Not the asshole. And I am surprised anyone in your family is willing to entertain this joke of a second wedding. It is not your fault the first one is shitty, and you ain't totally in the right for not wanting to have a second go around. Why would they think you would want to deal with her being a bridezilla again? Not the asshole. You know your sister. You know how she treated you. You know you were her emotional punching bag. You know that she hasn't changed. I'm guessing that her behavior has been enabled for years by these relatives who are now berating you. You do not have to participate in her second shit show. Sit back and let her implode on herself. Not the asshole. She treated you terribly and it's not an important day. They have been married for 6 years, they are not getting married. They are just trying to have another I'm the center of attention day. Not the asshole. Ask your family members who are hounding you why they don't hound her about meeting her nephew if family is so important. Though your brother and his girlfriend are better off without her. Not the asshole. Stand your ground. The fact that she didn't reflect and apologize, and instead is just demanding it, shows she hasn't changed. Hell, the fact that she doesn't know her own nephew because your bro's girlfriend went into labor, how self-centered is she? I'd be staying as far as possible from her do-over fake second wedding. Not the asshole. The fact that she wants to go through all this again so it's perfect, tells you what a shitshow she's going to be. And God forbid something else goes slightly wrong. Save your mental health. Your family will get used to the idea that your no means no. Not the asshole. If she wants to get it right this time, she should have her wedding alone to prevent anyone from ruining it. How dare anyone go into labor? One thing I've gotten from Reddit, people's family and friends really do get into each other's private business. This has to be an age thing. I'm 50 and this is totally not the norm. No is a full sentence. Every time your family raises the subject, start asking if they need to see a doctor, as they are obviously having memory issues. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It sounds like your family wants you to be the punching bag so they don't have to deal with her. I'm guessing your whole family feel about the same about her as you do, you're just brave enough to say no. Don't give in, and if you're part of your nephew's life then maybe you should enjoy spending the day with him. Not the asshole. When did no stop being a complete answer and become the starting point for a negotiation? No means no. No doesn't mean please repeat the victimization I felt all those years ago but magnify it with a dozen people now. Not the asshole, but everyone looking to change your mind through coercion or badgering is. Not the asshole. Don't change your answer. NTA. What on earth did they expect you to say? Why yes, I had such a wonderful time being blamed for everything under the sun in front of everyone at every turn. Why wouldn't I be happily up for that again? I bet they expect people to give them gifts again too. Just wondering why any guests would bother to go to a second wedding of the same couple. Why would they care if it didn't meet the bride's expectations the first time? Imagine having the audacity to go into labor during a wedding and stealing the spotlight. Oh, that's right, you literally can't stop labor. Your sister is absolutely ridiculous. I know this isn't the point, but what do all the people calling you the asshole think of the fact that your sister doesn't know her own nephew? And doesn't talk to her brother or the girlfriend? Not the asshole, by the way. Nothing is worth going through with something that you know will shit all over your mental health. Your sister already had a wedding anyway, which you were a part of. She doesn't need a second wedding. Not the asshole. You're a grown-up now and you can stand up for yourself better and know better than to tolerate this all over again. Stand your ground. Can't believe she's upset about someone going into labor during her wedding day. It's not like they planned it. Not the asshole. You can't use the wedding I want as an excuse to treat people poorly. Not the asshole. Your sister sounds a lot like mine. I was her maid of honor, and she treated me like trash. If she ever dared to ask for a redo, my answer would be the same as yours. No way in hell. Not the asshole. Tell her you're busy that day taking your 6-year-old nephew on an outing. Then do exactly that. Not the asshole, and if anyone tries to convince you to do it, calmly explain that it was a terrible experience, you were repeatedly treated like shit. Then to stop them from asking again, go on the offenishwa. Ask the person why they think so little of you that they want you to go through it again. Ask them why they don't like you. Ask them why they favor your sister. Put them on the spot with uncomfortable questions and they will stop asking. Not the asshole. Anyone who can be mad at someone for going into labor at an inopportune time to the point that they've not spoken in years is gonna be just as crazy the second time around. You're sparing yourself the stress and distress. I'd probably skip the redo wedding altogether. Not the asshole. In a mass email I would spell out how you were treated. Then state you will not be placed into that position again by an overgrown spoiled brat. Not the asshole. Sounds like karma that her first wedding was ruined. I can't imagine what kind of narcissist plans a second wedding 6 years after the first one. Time for her to grow up. No one cares anymore. Ew, a second wedding. Why would anybody want to do this? Especially since they are still married to the same person and especially since the first one wasn't exactly perfect. I would look back and think, thank goodness that's over, now I concentrate on my marriage and future with this person. 6 years is too soon for a vow renewal. Is she expecting more gifts, too? Side note, for her to be so self-centered that she is pissed at her nephew for being born is unbelievable. So what? The girlfriend went into labor. They could just leave to the hospital and the wedding can continue to party on. That's a good story to tell the nephew as he grows up. She needs to get over herself, make up with her brother and his family and move on. This redo wedding sounds stupid. Not the asshole. You can easily attend the wedding as a guest, and leave if she decides to start with her shit, if she really wants you to be there, but that should be the most you do. A redo? What the fuck, is this a thing? I guess I can see renewing vows, but after 6 years? This seems like some next-level attention whoring from the sister. Not the asshole. If it were my wife she would appreciate the hilarious story about how Ellie Mae's water broke while doing the electric slide. Not the asshole. No one deserves a make-up wedding. No wedding is ever 100% perfect. Would I have preferred not starting the wedding late because my ILs arrived 20 minutes late? Of course. But we are married, have been for a couple of decades and are happy. Plus, wedding horror stories are fun to share. Stating you need a do-over because sob, your day was ruined double sob, makes you look like a spoiled drama queen. Not the asshole. Don't go. At all. Hang out with your brother and his family for the extra slap to the face. And if for whatever reason you do end up going to her renewal, you should significant other get hammered. Get drunk AF. It'd probably make the whole event easier for you lol. If she's gonna get pissed at you for things that aren't your fault, then it won't matter if you're drunk or not. She'd already be pissed at you, so go the extra mile lol. Curious, are your brother and family going? Not the asshole. Stand your ground. You are under no obligation to let her treat you like shit during 2 of her weddings. You've done your time. Not the asshole. Go to your wedding? Sorry, I plan on getting pregnant about 9 months before your big day. Problem.